Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. We say goodbye to another year and welcome a new one. So, the last day of the 2021. I thought I'd do a video today discussing a few films that I've watched each month of 2021. And I've done that by logging them on Letterboxd. And for those of you that don't know what Letterboxd is, it's a website, an app where film lovers can log every film they've ever seen, every film they want to see on a watch list, read other people's reviews, read up on a little bit of the filmmaker's filmography. You know, Pretty much I use it for every film that I watch, and I jot it down, and it helps to remember the films you've seen, and just to sort of delve more into into that film. And so I've logged every film that I've watched in 2021. I started using it in January. Um, but I'm not doing a video discussing every single film I've watched in 2021. I know some YouTubers will be doing that, which is great. I enjoy them because you get a full range of their choices of the year, right? But I'm just going to give you a little taste. I'm just going to round off a few names of films that I watched in each month, right? And yeah, my Letterboxd name would be the same as my YouTube channel, Movie Database, if you ever wanted to check it out for any reason. But enough of that. Let's get into the films. A few of the films that I've watched each month. Right? No order here. Just gonna random off. I jotted them down at random. Just a little random taste of what I've been watching. Okay, in January, I watched a film called Booksmart, and I mean it's a coming of age film. It's fairly new, a few years old. Like the acting, the actors inside there, they are like they work really well off each other as these two schoolgirls. Sort of like navigating the crazy crazy few days in their lives. Parties and whatnot. Really good film. Really recommend. Um, Also, I watched Sound of Metal. Sound of Metal is one of my favorite films of recent. Like, I have got a review up on my channel where I wax lyrical about it, so I won't do that here. But like the sound going on there, I like mixing, like the plot, really great film. Now moving on to February, I watched a film called That Sinking Feeling. It's a Scottish film, really fun, really funny, and that sort of got me on like a Scottish film run where I discovered a bunch of well, one or two Scottish filmmakers, but watched a few of their films. Even up to like the Angel Share and whatnot. So yeah, I really recommend That Singing Feeling. It's become one of my favorite films. Also in February, His Girl Friday. I discovered His Girl Friday. I've got a review of that, which is like a Criterion release, like a boutique, film release. And His Girl Friday, instant classic for me. Also watched Bringing Up Baby, another instant classic. Really fun film from years back. These films that are from a long while ago, they should be they should continue their legend. Also watched North by Northwest, and so that means in February it started me off on my Hitchcock run. I watched a bunch of films that I'd never seen from the master Hitchcock, Alfred Hitchcock days. So moving on to March, I watched Apocalypse Now on a rewatch. Apocalypse Now, one of my favorite films. It's so gritty, so like, what I find fascinating is when when you research about the film, like the background to it, the length of time it took Coppola and all of his filmmaker buddies, and the acting in there, like the content matter, truly amazing film. The Lethal Weapon franchise. I watched all the Lethal Weapon films, and honestly, they're so fun. The director, he does love a plane sequence, doesn't he? Yeah, they're brilliant. Airplane, the comedy Airplane, arguably the greatest comedy if you like your silliness. The Kid Detective, really great lead actor there. Really enjoyed the Kid Detective. It's quiet. I've got a review of it actually on my channel, so check that out. Love it. Um, Promising Young Woman. I mean, really love that film. Really great performances, really great use of music and the plot. It's very precise. The writer and director, like the woman, they knew what they wanted to do and they achieved it, I think. Akira, an animation that revolutionized like what you could achieve in that space. Oh, and Clue. That's the final film for March. Clue. It's it's a comedy, like spoof. Really silly film, and I do like my silly films, but I thought that was like, well, truly awful. Really didn't take to me. April, American Werewolf in London. Uh, Truly, stunning practical effects. The transformation scene from yeah, the wolf transformation scene. I won't say anymore, but Werewolf in London. You really got to check that out, people. School of Rock, Jack Black, Miranda Cosgrove. A great childhood film, epic film though. School of Rock. That started me off on like family friendly films actually, because I watched Paddington 1 and 2 and they're brilliant. Holes, Shia LaBeouf. Uh, Holes, really great epic adventure with Shia LaBeouf. There Will Be Blood, epic film, epic. Mid 2000s, it's gone down as one of my favorite films, one of the greatest films for me. Jojo Rabbit, Jojo Rabbit's great. Satire. The filmmaker behind that, he's done Ragnarok and whatnot for. So he's got like the comedy clue down to a T, and it's satire on like wartime propaganda and whatnot. May, Invisible Man, horror film. Um, yeah, like they do some crazy things, like crazy work, camera work for the Invisible Man. It does, unfortunately, it does stray off into like typical conventional like Hollywood, like silliness with a plot. But aside from where it goes down and like lackluster choices that it makes, it's a really great film. Really, think people should check Invisible Man out and see if they like it. I watched Concrete Plans. I don't think many people will be aware of this film. Concrete Plans is like really low budget film about a bunch of Welsh builders. They go to like renovate this wealthy dude's like land, and it's like it's there's drama, there's horror, there's some criminal activity going on there. I really recommend Concrete Plans. Really enjoyed that. Ended up watching it twice. Also in May, I done an Alien and Predators franchise run. So I watched all the Alien films and all the Predator films, plus like their crossovers. Really enjoyed them for the most part. Really think they're really fun. Alien, great as a horror film, and then Aliens works as a great action film. Um, uh, yeah, they're cool. Not all of them are good. Some of them are actually like I despise some of them, but yeah, on the whole, I enjoyed it. Godzilla versus Kong in the cinema. Yeah, great, experience being back in the cinema and seeing all the great big fighting. Battle Royale. Oh, Battle Royale from the early 2000s, I think it is. Truly classic, instant classic. Proper gory, proper real stuff going on there. Dog Soldiers, great little horror film. Really enjoyed that. And It Follows. I watched It Follows for the first time from 2014. Really great concept, different. Really enjoyed It Follows. Goes down as a modern horror film that like really sort of lives up to its ancestors. Moving on to June, I've done a Harry Potter franchise run. Watched all of those films, loved them, grew up on them. They're amazing, just magical. Don't Breathe for the first time. I think it's from 2016. Can't believe I'd never seen that film. And when I sort of more people spoke about it in the community, I had to check it out. And yeah, it's really good. The Evil Dead franchise. So the original three and then the 2013 remake. They're just Sam Raimi and your man with a boomstick. Like I've got a review of those four films on my channel. Yeah, love them. Watched a film called 12 Hour Shift, another like low budget quiet film that probably went under people's radars. Yeah, 12 Hour Shift is like a criminal film with like horror elements where there's like a nurse but she's sort of involved in like some seedy sort of organization that sort of like is corrupting the hospital over one night. Really, I really enjoyed it. Um, Also in June, The Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Can't believe I've never seen that before, but it's truly epic. You know, if you think Zombieland and Shaun of the Dead's funny, then check out Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. I also watched Monster Squad, and I tell you what, it was recommended by like the fellow my fellow YouTubers. Um, they let me on to Monster Squad, and I watched it straight away because they just couldn't say enough good things about it. So I watched it, and I'm part of the club. I'm part of the squad now for sure. Moving on to July, I watched Birdman, with Michael Keaton, Emma Stone, and a few other great actors. Yeah, Birdman, really great film. Palm Springs, really great sort of twist on the whole time loop situation where you relive like Groundhog Day, but done in a different setting and different set of characters, and like it's modern, and it's really fun film. Black Widow in the cinema, back to the MCU. Really late. I can't believe they held off Black Widow for so long, doing her own solo film. I enjoyed it. I won't say it's particularly special, but I did enjoy it. Watched a film called Django from 1966. Honestly, it's one of my favorite films. Dude goes around gun like it's a western. He goes around gunslinging, dragging around his own coffin. Yeah, Midsummer. Oh wow, Midsummer. Um, I've got a little video on Midsummer and Hereditary, like as a little double feature in a video. Midsummer. I'm gonna revisit that so many times. Watched Anna and the Apocalypse. I didn't know what like I knew it was because I don't think I watched the trailer. I think I just read like a synopsis about it on Letterboxd. It's like a zombie film, and it just bypassed me the fact that it was a musical. And I mean, I'm up for anything. A zombie musical. Curiosity got the better of me, so I did check it out, and yeah, um, yeah, I didn't like it. Didn't like it. It was an experience. Didn't like it though. Also watched a fairly new film called Werewolves Within, comedy where I've really got my hopes up for Werewolves Within. I don't know why. I just like I watched the trailer and I was just so sucked in. I thought this is going to be like werewolf film, but like funny and like got horror elements. Didn't live up to my own hype, but it was okay. The Fear Street trilogy, Netflix's like ambitious attempt at like releasing one film after the next in quick succession. Fear Street, yeah, you know all different time zones and that, and yeah, really fun. Um, Censor from July. That's the last one I'll log off for July. Yeah, Censor, really great modern horror film. Um, yeah, really great. Is Censor. Love the story because once I've discovered the whole the whole like films of like the 80 like the 80s mid 80s when like films were getting banned, like horror films were getting banned, and critics were going mad and people were losing their crap, and committees were parading around the place getting films banned, and people were going like prison and whatnot. Like yeah, so Censor sort of touches on all that sort of like critics ban like reviewing films and whatnot. And it's a horror film. Censor. August. I watched Joe Bell, Mark Wahlberg film. Really sort of touching film. Sweet Girl, the Jason Momoa film. I think that's a Netflix title, or bad. Lady Bird, really good. Mortal Kombat, fun. Um, Fun, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily sort of like hasn't got like it's got probably the DNA of Mortal Kombat, right? But there was no sort of tournament. Um, Holla, I've got a review for Holla. It's one of my favorite films of recent. Love the lead actor. She is sublime. Memento, really great filmmaking. Suicide Squad, a cinema film, new Suicide Squad. Yeah, really fun. Shoplifters, love Shoplifters. One of my favorite films. It's actually was made recently, but it's just so touching and so like epic story going on there. Shoplifters. Free Guy, another like cinema outing. Free Guy, Ryan Reynolds, man, he's really funny. Action film. September, Matrix trilogy. I wanted to get the Matrix in. Wanted to get the Matrix in for the new Resurrections, just to recap on all the the epic storyline that the Wachowskis told. Yeah, like love the Matrix, man. They progressively get like sort of like the first one is epic. It's a really good film. Obviously the second and third like delve more into the action and like get really like sort of in your face with all the lore, but you need to be told about all the world building. It's an arguable sort of people love it, people went off on it, but the second one has a really good chase scene on the highway. Um, Rurouni Kenshin franchise run on Netflix. You can watch Rurouni Kenshin, like a samurai film, but they're not like serious. They're more sort of like cartoonish, but live action. Really enjoyed them. Bestsellers, Michael Caine and I'm forgetting the other actor, but they sort of like they bounce off each other really well, and I really enjoyed Bestsellers. Parasite, watched Parasite for the first time. Wanted to see what all the hype was about. Loved Parasite. Malignant, Malignant, man. Like that is like an ode to If you read up about why James Wan made Malignant and like his purpose for it. Like if you don't know what he was going for, you might think it's like you're not gonna be a fan of the film. If you know what he was going for and you've seen the films that inspired him, Malignant is a cult classic, instant cult classic. October. I've done a Halloween run. Watched most of the Halloween films, not all of them, because there's so many. In the run up to Halloween Kills, which I watched twice in the cinema. Halloween Kills wasn't what I was expecting. I mean, you did get a lot of kills, which is the only part I liked. Didn't like the story. I didn't like the chants that were made. All the sort of like, rioting, sort of hammering down on all that sort of stuff. But the kills were brutal. Really enjoyed the kills. But that's as much fun as I had with that film. Done a Scream franchise run in the run up to the new Scream that's coming out in January, Scream 5. So yeah, the Screams, really enjoyed the Scream. Sydney Cat, like, oh man, yeah, Scream. Even like Scream 4 was like the most modern one, and I don't know what people necessarily think of Scream if they were like, yeah, I enjoyed Scream 4, whereas I'm not sure everyone does. Um, The Green Knight, epic film, one of my favourite films of the year. If I did do a top 10, that would definitely be in there. Dune, epic. Denis Villeneuve, love him as a director. French Dispatch, love Wes Anderson. Liked French Dispatch. Last Night in Soho, loved Last Night in Soho. I think I rewatched that 2 or 3 times in the cinema. November. Oh, again, and like Last Night in Soho is another film where, like, if you know where the director was getting inspiration from, you'll probably appreciate it more. November. Watched Spencer in the cinema. Epic film. Didn't know I was going to like it that much. I was intrigued by the trailers, and I didn't go in looking for factual information. I don't think anyone should go into take what you will from the films. But see Spencer, loved it. Um, I watched a film called Amazing Mr. X from 1948. About like sort of like con artists and sort of like grieving and whatnot. And honestly, Amazing Mr. X is really good. Watched the Killing of a Sacred Deer. November. Sorry, yeah, November. Yeah, watched Killing of a Sacred Deer. Colin Farrell and your man Barry Cohen, and yeah, Killing of a Sacred Deer. I really took to that film. Love it. Watched Boxing Day. New film. Funnily enough, it's like set at Christmas. It doesn't really have any themes with Christmas, but I enjoyed it. I love the dude that wrote the film and starred in it as the lead. Followed his career for many years, and he's yeah, sounds a great guy. Watched Black Friday. Your man Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead. Yeah, Black Friday is probably not what people expected, but I liked it for like the messages that it was kind of get across. House of Gucci. Wild film, House of Gucci, man. Wild film. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about that. Pirates, new film about lads in the run up to the millennium, trying to have a night out to remember. If you're a Londoner or whatnot, you're gonna sort of um, relate to the film. Watched King Richard. Really enjoyed that film. Didn't think I would, but I really enjoyed it. I watched People Under the Stairs. Wes Craven's People Under the Stairs, and that's one of my favorite films of all time. I can't believe how good it is. Like, it's one of those films where I knew going in, like, I had so much hype for it. Before I watched it, I knew I loved it, and that's a dodgy thing that you could do with films. But when I watched it, I was like, yes, epic. Now moving on to December. I know there's a few day or two left, but hey ho, can't fit them in here, can I? I watched Come On, Come On. Really touching film. Really, really touching film. Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City in the cinema. Um, yeah, brilliant. Um, I say brilliant. They did. It's an amalgamation of like the first Resident Evil and the second Resident Evil games from PlayStation. Um, and look, they decided to do that because I think they had one foot stuck in the old Resident Evil franchise where they think they need to provide all this action. Where realistically, fans and even people that don't even know what Resident Evil is, it's a horror. Like, you can make a really good horror film out of that. So they did slip up there. Watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. You try and watch that every winter, don't you? It's so touching, beautiful. Watch Lamb. Lamb's one of my favorites of the year. West Side Story, Spielberg's take on the classic West Side Story. Um, enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. I watched Black Christmas for the first time from 1974, and I tell you what, Black Christmas is getting watched every single year. It's the greatest. Like, Christmas horror film, and it's one of the greatest horrors, one of the greatest films. Period. I watched Hard to Be a God, from Arrow Academy boutique line. It's a Russian film. Oh, it's an epic sort of tale of mud and blood, and you've got to research it yourself to see if you want to delve into that. And Spider-Man: No Way Home, I watched that a few times in the cinemas. Yeah, really fun, really ambitious what they did. I watched A Christmas Story. Just the guy that made yeah, like the director can make such a like two separate films, both set at Christmas and both be epic, and arguably the best in their genre. Silent Night, Deadly Night, part one and two. Recently spoke about Silent Night, Deadly Night part two. They are one and two wicked films. Watched The Thing recently. The Thing is just like a show of like dedication and passion and what you can really do with like practical effects and whatnot. Yeah, The Thing. And of course, Matrix Resurrections. Yeah, I can't really talk about that right now. I'd have to sort of, I want to think of it a little bit more. But they chose to make it, and it's a film. Christmas Evil, heard good things, wanted to watch it. Crazy, took a lot of laughs away from that. Kingsman. Yeah, I'm surprised they done a prequel as the third film in their like blossoming trilogy. Some wild moments in Kingsman. It didn't know what it wanted to be sometimes. Tries to do too much, but yeah, enjoyable time in the cinema. And last film I mentioned is The Night Before Christmas. Yeah, The Night Before Christmas is epic. You've got to watch that every year, along with some other Christmas staples. The dedication and hard work that went into The Night Before Christmas took like 3 years. I was reading. Really great film in the end. So yeah, that's my wrap up of like a few films that I've watched in each month from 2021. Let me know what you thought of some of those films. Hopefully you take something away and watch a few of them. All of the films that I mentioned were either really good or, like I said, some of them didn't really hit. Films are films, man. They're all fun. What did you watch this year? Thank you and Happy New Year.